We are Group Delta, and we're looking into the overproduction in the fashion industry, taking a look into Asos by Nabila, Crystal, and Saba.
In the 1990s, the global economy allowed for there to be an increase in purchasing power. There was a desire in purchasing more fashionable clothes, and shopping became a form of entertainment instead of it being an event that people saved for. With this came the emergence of fast fashion. A company that started to accelerate the fashion system and gain popularity worldwide was Zara. This system has caused a big problem in the fashion industry: overproduction. With companies forced to produce more and more collections per year to keep up with consumer demand, there has also been an increase in the amount of waste produced by fashion companies. As a group, we are going to look into Asos, a fast fashion retailer, and analyze how they can minimize the amount of waste they produce. We recommend implementing a system that would take care of the end of life of products. This would leave companies to being held responsible for their production levels. As mentioned previously, an industry-wide problem is overproduction. Fast fashion companies are producing between 16 to 20 collections per year, with a grand majority of the clothing made from synthetic materials and sewn poorly. This causes consumers to discard the clothing after a few uses and to buy more. Since these fashion categories are growing with collections produced in masses, the fabrics are made with toxic products that are harmful to our environment and to our human health. The fast fashion industry is making the consumers buy more than they need from a collection because of their low prices. This leads to an increase in consumerism, unaware of the negative impacts of the fast fashion industry. On average, people bought 60% more garments in 2014 than they did in the year 2000, and they kept the clothes for half as long. Globally, clothing prices have been able to be maintained low, mainly due to the influences of fast fashion. Specifically, in the case of the United States and United Kingdom, the price of clothing has declined, while for other consumer goods, prices have continued to rise over the years. It's projected that by the year 2030, the global apparel consumption will rise by 63%, from 62 million tons today to 102 million tons. This is equivalent to more than 500 billion t-shirts.
So the brand that we choose is Asos. Asos was founded in 2000, and since the beginning they have been an online fashion editor with an emphasis on diversity. Asos provides high fashion clothing, footwear, accessories, jewelry, and beauty products for women, men, and children. Asos originally stood for As Seen on Screen. They are the UK's largest independent online retailer. The official Asos website attracts over 5 million visitors a month, and the company currently has the highest number of users in the European Union as of August 2020. Globally, there are over 23 million active customers on ASOS.com, which the retailer defines as having shopped in the last 12 months as of 31st August 2020. During the pandemic, ASOS was able to quadruple their profits. Their sales rose 19% to 3.26 billion, and they served 23.4 million customers. ASOS currently has no brick-and-mortar locations, functioning entirely as an online global retailer. They have 3 fulfillment centers and 5 return centers. In efforts to come back from declining sales pre-COVID, ASOS is buying brick-and-mortar chains, recasting the retail experience, and increasing their market share. Taking over Arcadia's properties like the Oxford Street flagship means they could create an experimental store like what Burberry did in China. The problem with having an enormous number of collections a year and thousands of styles available to choose from is that it leads to overproduction from companies and overconsumption from consumers. This vast increase in production is causing more greenhouse gas emissions than international shipping and flights combined. Customers are also becoming aware of the issues with overproduction and are demanding companies to be more environmentally responsible. As we can see in the chart, there's actually less than 1% of closed-loop recycling where clothes are actually used to make other garments. 73% ends up in landfills or are incinerated. There's also other concerning issues of plastic microfibers that garments shed every time they are washed, and these end up in our oceans. The fashion industry is polluting the environment, therefore affecting human health. Since Asos is an online-only business, their biggest environmental impact comes from carbon emission from transporting goods, operations, and packaging waste. As a company, they came up with the Carbon 2020 strategy to reduce carbon emissions per order up until the year 2020. Although emissions grew by 14% because there was an increase in orders, the emission intensity per order decreased 30%. They also launched a sustainable training program for its design team to encourage environmentally conscious business practices. In 2010, Asos launched a clothing line called Responsible Edit, made from a minimum of 50% recycled or sustainable fibers and fabrics, and a minimum of 20% of recycled cotton, which uses less water and exerts less waste. Other than this, Asos is actively working to use coherent procedures of transportation, such as using electric vans in London's low-emission zone and local fulfillment centers. According to an article published in VNX, the second largest percentage of their carbon footprint comes from emissions from buildings. To reduce this, Asos sites based in the UK use 25% renewable energy, and energy-efficient LED lights have been installed in their warehouses. Asos is being ethically involved in every aspect of the brand, from production, manufacturing, transportation to packaging. Furthermore, this brand has also reduced the thickness of their mailing bags, which has saved 583 tons of plastic every year. They recycle the bags in return, making new bags with 10% post-consumer waste content, which decreases virgin plastic usage by 160 tons annually. This shows that Asos is doing all efforts to be as sustainable as possible in saving the environment and human health. Lastly, since January 2019, they banned the use of cashmere, silk, feathers, and mohairs.
When it comes to inclusivity, ASOS promotes genderless fashion by having an inclusive approach to style guides. ASOS has just launched the new See My Fit tool on their platform, which allows for users to view dresses on 16 different body types across sizes 4 to 18. According to the article published in Green Queen, the tool, which was developed in partnership with Israeli augmented reality company Zkit, aims to make the online fashion shopping experience more personalized and is a nod to the industry-wide push towards diversity driven by consumers who are demanding authentic. ASOS promotes inclusivity by offering style guides that fit everyone. There's not many brands that offer such tools that promote inclusivity in style, and ASOS is setting a benchmark for doing it. ASOS is one of the few brands that is promoting genderless fashion by supporting the minorities. The authentic branding tactics to promote inclusivity is something that makes ASOS different and unique from other brands. When dealing with overproduction in the fashion industry, specifically in brands that produce inventory constantly to stay on top of trends and consumer demands, the solution to help minimize the overproduction and its consequences would be to take care of the end of life of products. ASOS is a company that cares about how their products influence people's lives, so we propose to focus on the end of life of products, and we will also focus on shifting some of the more sustainable brands ASOS carries to an on-demand model. One of the actions ASOS can take is to start a recycling program with their community of customers. They would receive a big mailing bag with their purchases that they can send back after a year or more when they're cleaning out their closet. This allows for all ASOS pieces to be recycled. And since we don't have any retail stores, clothing would be sent to warehouses that will be dedicated to sorting and categorizing the clothing for the recycling of its materials or repurposed into other garments. This should be free of cost for customers, and in order to encourage them, customers will receive a $30 store credit per ASOS bag returned. This will help them close the loop. Zara is an example of a fast fashion company that implemented this into their model. They have a collection program called John Life where they place bins in retail stores in select cities so that customers can leave their used clothes there. By partnering with several organizations, they managed to give garments a new life while also supporting communities. We believe that ASOS can partner with organizations in the UK or in several countries in the world to help them with the repurposing materials and garments or to extend their life by donating to those in need. After every quarter, a team would be assigned to look over the production and share information regarding the amount of garments collected and repurposed, and the reduction in the company's carbon footprint. Overproduction is an issue that is affecting everyone in the world, and companies in the fashion industry need to start being held accountable for the amount of waste they create. They can't continue to produce and not be held responsible for it. Changing a consumer's mind states about shopping less or not buying from fast fashion brands is not a realistic approach to the issue of overproduction. While some consumers have been shifting their priorities when they shop, for a lot of people, fast fashion is what they can afford, and they don't really care about the consequences of their purchase. This is why instead we propose that in order for companies to continue to grow their business, they need to change the way they conduct it. If companies can push the initiative in an attractive way, consumers will be receptive and follow.